The world has seen multiple eras of people, of leaders that are eccentric, each a character in their own right. But what sets people like the Sultan of Brunei different is just the unbelievable lifestyle and wealth that he has, even in today's modern-day economy that cripples the best of the best. In today's video, we're going in depth into the mighty Sultan's lifestyle. The Sultan of Brunei is often regarded as the symbol of sheer power, unfathomable grandeur, and hard-lining religious policies. As a weird and controversial of a mix this may be, it is one that has everybody curious. But for those of you wondering who the Sultan of Brunei even is, here's a little background. The Sultan of Brunei, named Hassan al-Bolkiah, is the prime minister and is one of the last absolute monarchs in the country. He is also one of the wealthiest leaders in the country, with an estimated net worth of $28 billion, according to Forbes. And his typically extravagant lifestyle has been a subject of the public eye for the entirety of his reign. But more recently, he was in the news for his extremist remarks on homosexuality and the required punishment for it, which according to him was stoning till death, in an effort to align the country with the rules of Sharia law. The uproar that this triggered was immense, with international pressure building up, with the governments in most first world countries condemning it, and was even more thrusted when celebrities in the West jumped on the bandwagon as well. This led to the premier backtracking on his decision to revoke the ruling from action, but it still remained a part of its legislature. But before his hard stance on enforcing Sharia law, the premier was mostly known for his open mind and open pocket, his gold-plated lifestyle, quite literally and metaphorically. Being one of the richest leaders to ever walk the earth, his asset list is one that might send your jaw dropping to the floor. To start off, let's begin by taking a look at his exquisite car collection of 5,000 luxury cars, all of which range from Rolls-Royces, Bentley Buccaneer, Bugatti EB10s, McLaren's F1s, a various showroom-esque collection of Jaguars that are to date unused, and the only right-hand drive Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR in the world. The Supreme Commander of the Brunei Royal Armed Forces, yes, that's also one of his titles, is a car and racing enthusiast, it seems. His obsession for cars seems to be very vast, because apparently they're all specifically housed in a palace, with separate wings devoted to each brand. Reportedly, there are over 300 Ferraris, 20 Koenigseggs, 6 Dabber Porsche 962 LMs, 11 McLaren F1s, and 600 Rolls-Royces, all valued at an estimated $300 million. It has been reported that much of the collection actually belongs to the Sultan's third brother, Prince Jeffrey, and various nephews, and that most of the collection is unused and decaying. Those are cars some people won't see in their lives. His other extravagant pursuits also include a polo complex that covers areas of luscious ground, housing nearly 150 ponies of the finest breed on the finest diet. This polo palace even has a stud farm. His knack for flavorful property doesn't seem to halt here. Of course it doesn't. He also constructed a 1,788-room palace named Istana Nurul Aman, by which all standards is the largest private home in the world. In that house, he invited the legendary Michael Jackson to an exclusive performance. But that isn't very Islamic, is it? His family's other famous and known real estates include a mega mansion in Vegas with an astounding number of 92 rooms. Worth £45 million and built on a typical Sin City site, the compound boasts nearly 92 rooms, 29 of which are bedrooms, 42 are bathrooms, whereas the rest of the area is covered by a luscious tennis court and the other by 3 swimming pools. According to various reports, the Prime Minister of Brunei has an entire harem of women, nearly 40 of them that he uses for his purposes. And not just him, his brother too, Prince Jeffrey Bolkiah, who's also notorious for being involved in the sex ring, that name flowing around in the tabloid circuit like electricity. After the news came out of laws being drafted against homosexuals, he was the target of newspapers that alleged he was a kind of a voyeurist, because he had a very sexually explicit and indecent statue of him and his then fiancée commissioned for nearly £600,000. And in this harem of women, Reports are that these girls would be imported on demand from different exotic locations of the world, who were there specifically for the men of the Sultan family. Concerning reports had been circulating about them having unprotected intercourse with these harem women and possibly producing illegitimate heirs. A first-hand account of an ex-harem girl goes as, "It was the kind of hunger you could never really feed. The kind that keeps you up until 5 a.m. every night. The kind that drives you to fuck girl after girl, to buy Maserati after Maserati," she said. The New York Post reports, "She claims the prince never asked her if she was on the pill. As the decadence increased, so did the number of Americans," she claims. "He would start opening magazines and say, 'I want that woman, I want that one,' and order them," she concluded. A very public scandal was when the Sultan's brother was sued by Shannon Marketic, Miss USA. She says that she had to accept a $3,000 a day job in Brunei, initially told to just take care of personal appearances and promotional work, but ended up as a sex slave. She says, "It would be the biggest honor of my life if I was permitted to sleep with Jeffrey, because he is half man, half God, like Jesus Christ to the Christians," she claimed a royal aide had told her. She further revealed that upon any kind of refusal or display of uncomfort, she was mentally and physically abused, even being banned to leave the country, leaving her traumatized. The Sultanate ruler also has commissioned a private zoo, which according to reports has nearly 35 to 40 Bengal tigers, which are used to entertain personal foreign guests of the Sultan. Other animals that are in that enclave include alcons, flamingos, and cockatoos, which can play basketball, ride bicycles, sing, talk, and imitate other animals. The trainers and caretakers there are also paid heftily, reporting to be actually happy with their jobs, since this counts as a government job, coming with the benefits it has. A worker named Chawalak Satadsap, who's been working there for nearly a decade, said, "Working as a trainer of tigers owned by the Queen is an honor and pride of my life. I do the work to the best of my ability in return for the kindness and trust of the Sultan and the Queen." They have a net monthly salary of 70,000 to 80,000 baht, which is pretty well above the minimum wage of the country. But if we're to take a look into where this kind of wealth generation even began from, we'd have to give you a bit of an impromptu history lesson. After being handed over the Sultanate to him by his father, that's when he got to reap the benefits of industrialization and of state funds. Basically, when he took power, that's when Brunei was discovered with gigantic amounts of liquefied natural gas, or LNG, and around 5 to 7 oil fields off the coast of the country. While oil had been already discovered back in the 1920s, the timely combination of these resources would put the expansion of Brunei's finances into overdrive, and that of the Sultan's, which it did. According to the stats, the refinery racks up to 10,000 barrels of oil a day, making the Sultan roughly $103 or 80 pounds a second. So yeah, he's making more money in a second than people make in a week in some parts of the world, even well-developed ones. But, well, be it motor madness, real estate regality, gold-plated airplanes, big yachts, helicopters, or even other luxury items, there's so much we don't even know about. But if there's anything we do know, it's that these people aren't afraid of showing off in wealth. That's it for today, guys. See you in the next video.